TGIF. Happy Friday to everybody in KOFO land. John Jacobsen here with the great Bill Pracht, and this is your East Kansas Agri-Energy Agri Report on KOFO, your home and away voice of the Kansas City Royals and the Ottawa Cyclones. And folks, it is so great to be with you today. We are beaming to you on 1220 as well as 103.7 FM. You can also listen live on KOFO.com. And this wonderful podcast is up on the Ethernet as soon as you hear this. Sean will have it up on our website, KOFO.com. Click podcasts. And thanks to everybody listening in from Franklin, Anderson, Lynn, Miami, Osage, Johnson, and parts extending beyond that, Douglas. And, you know, we've got to reach, Bill, as you know, all the way to Emporia, to our capital in Topeka, to Rock Chalk, Jayhawk, Lawrence, to KC suburbs like Olathe, and, of course, Wellsville and Williamsburg and Osage and Osawatomie and Princeton and Paola and Gardner and Garnett. We're emanating from the Radio Ranch here in wonderful, wonderful Ottawa, Kansas. Quite the heat. We're in the heat of summer after a very rainy spring, a lot of rain earlier this week. Bill, how you guys faring? I know the ethanol plant is a mighty fortress. Bill, of course, is the Chief Executive Officer at East Kansas Agri-Energy, the terrific renewable fuels ethanol plant that helps our ag families conserve our food supply because they get to stay in charge of it and not have it in the hands of foreign corporate interests. Also, it provides those additional revenue vectors for our ag families that allows us to keep those middle-class farm families alive and well here in the Midwest, especially in Kansas. And every dollar here that goes into a tank with ethanol in your gasoline for your vehicle is one less dollar we have to beg, borrow, or who knows what to get from those corrupt and bad Middle East countries. So welcome back to the show, Bill. I'll let you riff just a bit. How are you doing weather-wise, my friend?
Well, we've been getting our share of rain down here, too, with a couple of inches this past weekend. And, we haven't done anything in the field far other than spraying for almost 3 weeks now. And so that's getting a little annoying. And we have about half of the beans left to plant. Most guys have got corn all in the ground, although there are a few farmers yet to plant corn, and I know they'd certainly like to get that done. And looks like maybe after Saturday we're going to have an open week the following week of that, and that'd be much of a grateful forecast for us if we can get that accomplished. That's for sure. But with that being said, the farmers are hauling corn to the ethanol plant, so they need something to do, so they're bringing in their July deliveries a little bit early, June and July deliveries, and so it's been real busy in here, and business here is good, so things are going well.
Bill Pracht here with us, the head man at East Kansas Agri-Energy, and they, of course, are the great renewable fuels ethanol plant there in Garnett. Bill, how are prices right now for our guys that are bringing in their grain?
Well, we've seen corn prices decline here quite a bit in the last 2 to 3 weeks. Soybean prices have as well. We haven't seen any follow through from any Chinese buying from the announcements that President Trump made. And with that, the funds were really long in the commodities market, and it looks like they've decided to get out. And when they get out, they say sometimes the door getting out can be pretty narrow, and that seems to be the case. And then just had a June crop report this morning. Really nothing new in it, but prices have gotten weaker since that report came out, even today. So I think we're just kind of searching for hopefully a bottom here pretty quick in corn, beans, and then maybe we can find some footing. And usually this time of the year we're trading hot, dry weather, but we certainly not doing that now. And the trading acronyms are, rain makes grain, and I think the funds are seeing that too, and so they're just going to get out and sit on the sideline here for a bit.
It's definitely been a wet spring, and we've definitely had some very high Fahrenheit temperatures, so kind of that juxtaposition there. Macro view, Bill, I've been poring over some of the year-end reports. Some came out earlier, some are coming out now to kind of verify, but it does appear, looking at several different studies, that for calendar year ending 2025, I know we're almost halfway to 26, but it takes a while to assess periodically, but it looks like 2025 ag income for Kansas farmers was way up, quite a rebound. Is that what you're hearing and seeing in your due diligence?
I think part of that's probably true, and it's not all because of the prices. I mean, last year in 2025, we had, almost a record wheat yield in the state, same with corn and soybeans. And so the guys had a lot of bushels to sell. So, and also in agriculture, the cattle prices have been extremely high. And so I can see where that would be the case in farm income. And because farmers like to have bushels to sell. And so that's could easily be the case for 2025. But also our inputs have got a lot higher. And so it's tight. And, the way prices of everything are escalating here, what our inputs and machinery and parts and even labor to get tractors and combines fixed, those things are taking its toll on the bottom line of the farm.
Yeah, I think Bill Pracht, as usual, is spot on. The K-State Extension folks, Pat Melgares, just a couple of weeks ago indicated that strong crop yields, historically high beef prices, and, of course, substantial government payments pushed Kansas net farm income to unexpectedly high levels in 2025, according to that annual report released by the Kansas Farm Management Association. The report shows average net farm income across the state reached $212,494 in 2025, more than double the average reported in each of the previous 2 years. So, Bill, I think it's correct. It's kind of a combination. It's not just crop yields, although that's part of it, but also high beef prices during that time and, of course, the government payments.
Absolutely. And, and we're, beginning wheat harvest in southern Kansas now. And growers I've talked to one from the Heston area just earlier this week. And, he's hoping his wheat makes 30 bushel, which is less than half of what it made last year. And then wow. I think from there on farther west, it's even worse than that. So those types of things are we can't control the weather. And, the guy done the same farming practices this year that he did last year and grew 60-plus bushel wheat, and he's growing 30 this year. So those type of things that are out of our control has always make farming kind of difficult. And then when you go from year to year and you hear about that's just the highs and lows of being in agriculture and the commodity business. So one year you're going to have a really good one, and you might follow that up with hopefully just one poor one at a time. And where we really get into trouble is when we string 2 or 3 poor ones together. And then that's when it really takes a toll.
Bill Pracht with us. He's the Chief Executive Officer there at East Kansas Agri-Energy, the wonderful ethanol renewable fuels plant in Garnett. You're so correct, Bill. The vicissitudes, the volatility, the way things can change 180 degrees on the dime. Dykeman said that soybean yields were especially strong in 2025 because they were averaging 50 bushels per acre statewide. Corn yields last year averaged 127 bushels per acre, wheat 58 bushels, and grain sorghum, milo 92 bushels per acre. And Dykeman said bushels can contribute to profitability even when prices are not as strong as what the producer might expect. So last year, those yields were 48% higher than the 5-year average, while irrigated crop yields also posted sizable gains. The average Kansas farm in the report operated about 1,800 crop acres in 2025, slightly higher than recent years. And Dykeman said that reflects a continuing trend toward larger farm operations. Are you seeing that in the eastern flank here, Bill? Are you seeing still that trajectory toward larger farm operations?
We most certainly are. We've the average age of the American farmer is up in 60 or so, and so we've got guys retiring, all the time, and so I do see that consolidation, and farms are getting larger and fewer of them as time goes on, and that's going to continue. And you can look at a lot of families. Might have two or three that are farming now, and then that might end up being one person running that farm 10 years from now. So we're certainly going to continue to see that as time goes on.
Bill Pracht, very, very good take there. I would also note that we can't forget the government payments played a major role in boosting farm income. Dykeman said average livestock-related government payouts totaled about $5,400 per farm, while crop-related payments averaged nearly $105,000. We're in six-digit numbers, Bill.
That's right. That's right. And, we got those payments based on the tariffs that President Trump put on. And he told us he was going to make them up, and he did. And we also have to remember that's what the guys that we trade with, the countries that we trade with, they also usually, when tariffs affect their marketplace, that they reward, or reward's the wrong word, but subsidize the groups that get hurt from the tariffs with government money too. So it's just not new to, just not singular to the U.S. of doing that. But it certainly made a difference last year, and the prices were depressed because of the tariffs. So we're still not today, as we speak, with July corn trading at 411. We're still not at a level where we can do much more than break even on a good corn crop.
This is really good context and perspective from Bill Pracht. Combined government assistance payments exceeded $110,000 per farm on average, and the largest portion came through the Supplemental Disaster Relief Program. The SDRP, as they call it, they averaged nearly $39,000 per farm, and FBA payments averaged about $51,000. So Dykeman says between the two of these, that was almost 82% of all government payments received. A significant portion of 2025 net farm income did come from government payments. Bill, what do you see in 2026 from the payment subsidy standpoint? And is it still out there? Mark Dykeman's given us some great data here, but could that even still be impacted in 2026 depending on what happens with Iran and Karg Island and the Strait of Hormuz? Is this still open for play yet with half a year to go, do you think?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, we've already got one payment here in 2026 already. So, and the rest of it's yet to be seen, and changes on a daily basis on what's going to happen. We've already seen the war increase fertilizer prices by 20% across the board for U.S. producers. Our fuel prices are higher. So the reasons are different, but the economic effect is very much similar to what happened with, suppressed prices for crops last year. So we certainly need to try to get a flow of energy around the world back to normal, and the quicker the better. But that is a fleeting thought some days, when, especially today, when we are increasing our military activity in the Strait of Hormuz and against Iran. So all of us are praying for a quick end to it, but it doesn't seem to be happening that way.
Here with Bill Pracht, hard to believe how fast we're already well over halfway through our Friday show here. You're listening to us on KOFO Radio, the Blowtorch, your country music giant on the East Central Plains of Kansas, your home and away voice of the Kansas City Royals, as well as the Ottawa Cyclones. And Bill, they listen to us today on 1220 AM, 103.7 FM, listening live on KOFO.com. Some folks pull down the podcast, which you can get by just typing in KOFO.com and then click that menu item for podcasts and grab the show. It is the East Kansas Agri-Energy Report with Bill Pracht. And Bill, we just did a glancing blow on this last week, but I think it's so important. You've been such a friend of youth. You're a grandfather, you're a father. You help out with our FFA, with our 4-H, with our county fairs. You're just such a stand up guy. You're doing everything you can to help bring farming into our next generation. And I'll say it again, as Addison Stoddard did so well, kids out of school for the summer means refreshing farm safety. We've got to mitigate and prevent farm accidents.
That's right. I mean, they happen in a blink of an eye, and so there's more people around than normal on the farm in the summertime. So we all have to be careful. We all have to pay attention. Just driving down a dusty road, a lot of accidents happen just because of that. And so we've got to take our time and be safe for all of our kids and grandkids, and so that they can have a wonderful summer as well.
Here with Bill Pracht. Bill, I want to stay on the health topic for a little bit here. I was doing a radio program with some attorneys just recently as well, and Sean, our great engineer, was setting up that broadcast for both over the air as well as for podcasts. And the mental health and addiction issues among attorneys are very real and very demonstrable. And the legal profession, the bar associations are trying to do a great deal to remediate that. And Bill, I'm a guy that was a very young kid in my early 20s in the mid 1980s during the farm crisis. And I saw the mental health toll in our communities, sometimes even violence as a result. And Bill, just like in the law, it's important to remove the stigma from mental health and to talk to folks, and just the importance of checking in on family and friends, and getting a call, getting help for assistance if you need it.
Absolutely. It's, mental health is probably the hardest thing for any of us to talk about, and even a lot of people, their physical health, they just don't want to go to the doctor when they can feel something's wrong. And many times on the mental side, I don't know that you yourself can actually feel that wrong. And somebody else has to help you out and help you through it. And as times get tougher on the farm, like you said, in the farm crisis in the 80s, it was hard on a lot of people. And we're still... every family knows somebody that has had issues mental health wise, and we got to take it as part of life that we need to help our neighbors out with, our friends, neighbors, and family out with, and show them a little extra caring in those times of need. That's for sure.
Absolutely, guys. Bill Pracht with us here on KOFO. This is the East Kansas Agri-Energy Agriculture Farm Report and his renewable fuels operation there. Bill, talk about your plant for just a minute. It's a beautiful plant down there. You guys should all visit it. I know they all come to pay their respects, whether they're U.S. senators or U.S. members of Congress. So, Bill, they think what you're doing is pretty important down there, obviously.
It is, and I'm glad they think that way, so we bring a cleaner burning fuel to the table. Also, we are use a third of the corn grown in the United States, and so we're a necessary market for that. And we're happy that we're getting into more of the gallon at the fuel pump, and hopefully for too much longer we'll be permanently in the gallon of at 15% in the fuel pump, and that's one thing we really like. It's something that's kind of neat that's just starting to happen next week. Will be that E15 is the official sponsor of the KC Diamonds women's professional softball team in Kansas City.
Yes.
their home openers next Wednesday, and so that'll be cool. And our plant, along with Kansas corn, Missouri corn, and a couple ethanol plants in Missouri, are help sponsoring the team. And so we're going to see those ladies out sharing the benefits of E15 and promoting our product, and we'll be help to promote them. So it's kind of a cool little thing. It's just happening right here and pretty close to our neck of the woods.
Very, very excellent indeed. I still think our All-American Macy Raver ought to give that team a shot. She is that good of a runner, stealer, hitter, and fielder.
She ought to go up there and try to get a tryout. I imagine they'd look at her. So
well, she's her daddy's. She's her daddy's girl. She's a farm girl. She's helping out with livestock and crops, and she's absolutely rural Kansas America. Bill, legislature. The waning days here in Kansas, and Sharice Davids and Sarah Marshall were both in the plant recently. Any updates? You said nothing really yet from China has come through in terms of manifesting the receipts. Legislation, just give our listeners a quick recap. I know you've touched on it, some of the progress made, but for some initial visitors to the program, what did we get done in the U.S. House this year, and anything going on in the Kansas legislature as the gavel comes down?
As far as the Kansas legislature, we did get some beneficial tax credits for fueling stations to put in equipment to dispense E15 if they don't have it already. So that's beneficial, and the governor just signed it a week ago. So we're glad to have that. That was bipartisan support in the Kansas House and the Kansas Senate. Nationwide, E15 passed the House and the United States House, and we're waiting a vote in the Senate. Our people that worked for us through the RFA said it's a marathon, not a sprint in the Senate. Right. We've been waiting for quite a while, and hopefully we'll get something done. We've got to remember, we've been on emergency waivers for E15 in the U.S. for 7 years in a row.
Wow.
So we've been using it for 7 years in a row. For somebody not to say, well, that's official now is really a shame.
Yeah, it goes from de facto to de jure pretty quickly.
That's right.
There.
That's right.
Bill, just a final take here. It's been a weird weather season. We'll kind of circle back to the beginning. That means we got some crazy weeds growing with this weather. And, I walk my 10,000 steps a day in the great Walmart store here in Ottawa. And, man, are the folks hitting the herbicide and the pesticide aisles like I've never seen. Now, I'm not saying that always impacts the bottom line, but it can sure slow down the combine when harvesting the wheat crop. Do we have a little weed issue we got to keep our eyeballs on here due to the spring weather? Some weed pressure maybe?
I think, there's probably not the wheat in this area, because what I've seen, the wheat in our area looks pretty decent.
Good.
But I have seen some fields, that's going to be going to soybeans that the farmer wasn't able to get them sprayed and get the weeds burnt down. Their no-till situation that they're going to have some issues with.
Okay.
I don't know that it seems like there's always a little bit of that. And but when you have a stretch of weather for 3 weeks or a month this time of the year, and when everything grows, the rain makes our crop grow. Well, it makes those weeds grow too. So there's a little bit in some places, but for the most part, I think things are going pretty well.
Well, many pearls of wisdom from the great Bill Pracht today as we wind things down. Boy, Bill, this half hour goes by quickly, doesn't it?
It sure does. It sure does. So,
Bill, how can people find out more about you guys, or maybe even come down for a visit sometime? It's an awesome plant.
Best, find out more about us. They can go to our website, ekae.com, llc.com, and just go on there and look around. Our contact information's on the website. While they're there, they need to click on our link to our All Access with Andy Garcia segment that we did, and see what ethanol's about. And if groups want to take a tour here, we'll try to accommodate them. And they just need to contact us, and we'll be able to take care of it.
I love Andy Garcia. He was such a tremendous role in the movie For Greater Glory. Love Andy Garcia, and Bill. Again, that website is a wonderful website. EKAE, which stands for East Kansas Agri-Energy, and then put the LLC. They're a limited liability company. So EKAELLC.com. It's a treasure trove of information, Bill.
Yep, we have information from the national people there and local, and so we've been trying to improve it all the time, and it looks pretty good today.
Your East Kansas Agri-Energy report, your Ag Report with Bill Pracht for Sean Torres and Bill and John Jacobsen. Thank you for listening. Grab that podcast as we arc toward America at 250 years old on July 4. Land of the free, home of the brave. Let's just have that great spirit of independence as we continue to feed America here from the heartland in Kansas. Grab the podcast. We will see you next week, same time, same channel. For Bill and Sean and John Jacobsen, have a great weekend. Bye-bye.